Friday morning, October 11th, was Erev Kol Nidrei. That Friday night, Kol Nidrei was happening. But in the morning, my colleagues and I were doing our Kabbalat Shabbat service with our preschool children, who are very, very young. They range in age from 15 months to 5 years. So I was trying to figure out how to bring the intensity and solemnity of Kol Nidrei to 15-month-olds and to 5-year-olds, to our youngest learners. So I took a risk and I asked the following question. I said, hey kids, what is your favorite Jewish holiday? Now you never know what you're going to get when you ask a room of kids. Very often you get nothing. But I asked that question, what's your favorite Jewish holiday? And every arm shot up. A live one, I thought. I said to the first kid, what's your favorite Jewish holiday? He said, Halloween. And then I asked the second, Halloween, and the third, Halloween. Now, to my great surprise, not a single kid said Yom Kippur. There was not one 3-year-old who said, I just love Unetaneh Tokef. The clear winner by acclamation for favorite Jewish holiday was Halloween. Now, in the week since then, I've been marinating on their response. And while it is true that Halloween is technically not a Jewish holiday, I do know that, so don't send me any emails, I know this. I think, as they say, out of the mouth of babes, I think our kids are onto something. And what they're onto is that holidays are supposed to be joyful, light, breezy, joyful. And what is more light, breezy, and joyful than Halloween, the way we practice it over here? Halloween is about parents and children coming up with cool costumes. It's about parents and children walking around their block, walking around their neighborhood, getting candy and candy bars. It's about coming home at the end of the night and dividing up the spoils. It's about creativity. The costumes are creative. So many of our families do up Halloween in a very ornate gothic style. It's just about fun. And of course, there's no denying. There's just no denying. It's about Snickers and Kit Kats, Butterfingers, Twix Bars, and Reese's Peanuts. All in all, not bad. Our kids are onto something. There's only one problem. Halloween works for kids. The recipe is simple. Sweet neighbors giving sweet treats to sweet children. It works for kids. But how do adults, facing the complexity of our world, how do we find joy? Not only on holidays, but today is Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, so we're entering a month of ordinary days. How do we find joy in ordinary days? Or here's another formulation. How do we find peace of mind in ordinary days when there's so much that undermines joy and so much that subverts peace of mind? A candy bar won't cut it. How do we find it? So I was doing a Zoom class with my sisterhood Torah study this week. It was our first class after the holidays. And we kind of began by asking how the learners on the screen, there were 37 of them, how did they experience the Jewish high holiday season in the world that we are living in? And person after person offered some version of, throughout the high holiday seasons, I knew it was supposed to be joyful. I knew it was supposed to be joyful. But I felt a pit in my stomach. I had a deep anxiety. I could actually never get to joy. And the learners on that screen offered comments like, and I'm basically paraphrasing what I heard, how was I supposed to sit around my Rosh Hashanah table and enjoy an apple and honey when Israeli soldiers are fighting in Lebanon and in Gaza? Or, how am I supposed to sit in the sukkah, which is supposed to be a festival of joy, but we're on the precipice of this election in a 50-50 country, where no matter how the election turns out, where no matter who wins, 50% of the country is disenfranchised and feels angry and fearful? How do you do joy in a sukkah on a precipice? How do I feel joy and light and happy when I have friends, I have loved ones who have suffered real loss and are experiencing real challenges? So, for kids, a candy bar will cut it. What about for us? So the Torah is going to offer us two stories as we leave the holidays and enter the season of ordinary days. The story of Noah and the story of Abraham. So the story of Noah is, you all know, that God says, I'm going to destroy the whole world. Everything that breathes will perish. And imagine hurricanes Helene and Milton on steroids. Helene and Milton, Helene and Milton, Helene and Milton, for days and weeks and months, and everything is being destroyed. But for Noah and Mrs. Noah, and for Shem, Ham, and Yafet, their 3 kids, and their 3 wives, they're safe. Everything dies, they're safe. That's the story of Noah's Ark. And that offers us one model, which is in a world of danger and destruction, we shelter ourselves from the storm, we find our own ark, and we're safe and we're protected. And yes, outside the ark, don't want to think about it, it's hard, it's sad, not my issue, I'm in the ark, I'm safe. That's one model. The second model is Abraham. Now, Noah is usually compared unfavorably to Abraham, because when God says to Noah, hey, Noah, listen, everything that breathes is going to perish, but for you and your family, Noah does not raise a peep. Noah just takes care of Noah and his family. Noah just builds the ark. But Abraham, when God says to Abraham, hey, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham stands up and says, no, far be it from you. God forbid that God, you are supposed to be fair. Shall not the judge of the whole world judge justly? And if you do that, God, inevitably you are going to sweep away innocent with the guilty. And therefore, Abraham does that famous negotiation. If we can find 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, you won't destroy these towns. And in the language of the Torah, Abraham's move is la'asot tzedakah umishpat, to do justice and righteousness. So let's step back. The Torah gives us 2 different moves. There's the Noah move. I'm going to be safe in my ark. I'm going to make sure my family is safe in the ark. Don't really think about what's happening outside the ark. And there's the Abraham move. How can I be okay if innocent people are suffering? I am going to fight for justice and righteousness, even if it interrupts my joy, even if it interrupts my peace of mind, even if I'm vulnerable, even if I'm exposed, I'm going to fight for justice and righteousness. And I have to say that these 2 models are obviously in tension. And I have to say, I never properly understood the relationship between them until this year. I used to always think that Noah and Abraham was an either-or relationship. Either we're Noah people, or we're Abraham people. Either we're focused on the ark and home and hearth, or we're focused on the world and making it better. Either we're focused on our own family, or we're focused on helping others in need. And if you do either or, of course, our tradition favors Abraham. But I now think that's a mistake, either or. I think that the Torah gives us two models, not to ask us to choose between them, but to do both. To be both Noah and Abraham. And maybe what we do in our ark can help us for our world beyond the ark. Think about it this way. The great Dr. Martin Luther King famously taught us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. That arc is ARC. And there is a deep relationship between arc, ARK, and arc, ARC. That is to say, we get renewed and restored and rejuvenated in our arc, ARK, and that allows us to have fresh energy for making our contribution to the arc, ARC, of the moral universe. It is Noah and Abraham. It is being right with our family and being restored in our home, and they're getting fresh energy to make a contribution to the world. Arc and arc. Now, we already know this, and you already live this way. Most of us have had this experience. We're outside in the world doing our thing in the outside world, whatever our work is, whatever the arc, ARC, is. And it's hard work. And we face frustrations and failures, and bumps and bruises, and conflicts and setbacks. Dr. Rochelle Walensky gave a talk here before Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur, and she told the story of a friend at the CDC who had a sign on her desk that said, "Hard work is hard." And because hard work is hard, we come home and we're depleted. But then if we are blessed to have our own version of Noah's Ark, a home and hearth that's restorative, we get energy from that. We ask our loved ones about the details of their day. There is no better question than, how was your day? And we share the details of our day. And then the evening rituals, whatever they are, we all have different ones. The cocktail we drink, the music we listen to, the book that we read, the news that we catch up on, the mail that we sort through, the laundry that we sort and fold, the dinner that we cook, the dishes that we do, the homework that we help our kids with. And then the evening ritual, if we're lucky and blessed to have children at home, putting them to sleep, bed for the evening, singing Shema, watching the light go out, watching them go to sleep. And if we don't happen to have children at home, signing off with our loved ones who don't live with us, checking in with them. And as a result of all of that arc, ARK, we go to sleep and we wake up for our new day of hard work in the arc, ARC, and we are restored and ready to go. So, it's Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, and we're facing a month of ordinary days. And you already know, and you don't need me to tell you, those ordinary days have some challenges. But the Torah offers us a 1-2 punch for how to magnify the impact we want to have in our world. Go from here and make our ark, ARK, warmer and more restorative. And from that ARK, go out into the world and make our contribution on our ark, ARC, that bends towards justice. Make that a higher move. Make that more impactful. Here's the good news from the Torah. Between our ark and our ark, each of us can do our part to make this a better world.